So friends, we got some good news on the accountability front because yet another former Trump lawyer who was involved in the corrupt scheme to overturn the results of the 2020 election has been disbarred. Let's talk about why he was disbarred. But frankly, I think the most direct answer to that question is because justice matters. Hey all, Glenn Kirshner here. So friends, former Trump lawyer Kenneth Chesebro, who pleaded guilty in court to conspiracy to commit filing of false documents, the fake elector certificates, was just disbarred by the state of New York, quote, effective immediately. Let's start with the new reporting. This from NBC News. Headline, former Trump lawyer Kenneth Chesebro disbarred in New York over 2020 election interference case. And that article begins, Kenneth Chesebro, a former legal advisor for Donald Trump's 2020 presidential campaign, is now barred from practicing law in New York over his role in a scheme to overturn Trump's election loss 5 years ago. In an order Thursday, a state appeals court in New York said Chesebro's criminal conduct, namely conspiring to commit filing false documents in connection with efforts to negate Trump's 2020 defeat in Georgia to Joe Biden, quote, undercuts the very notion of our constitutional democracy that he, as an attorney, swore an oath to uphold. Chesebro was first admitted to practice law in New York in 2007. His disbarment is effective immediately, the order says. Chesebro played a key role in devising a strategy to create slates of fake pro-Trump electors in Georgia and 6 other states the president lost to Biden to disrupt or delay Congress from certifying Biden's victory on January 6, 2021. In 2023, he, Chesebro, struck a plea deal with Georgia prosecutors and pleaded guilty to 1 count of conspiracy to commit filing false documents after he was indicted on 7 counts. The court, which had initially suspended Chesebro from practicing law in New York last year, said in Thursday's order that Chesebro's cavalier attitude regarding his actions, particularly in the face of his extensive background in the areas of constitutional and election law, largely aggravates his conduct. Chesebro is one of many Trump-allied attorneys who were penalized for their involvement in Trump's election interference efforts. Rudy Giuliani was disbarred in New York and Washington, D.C., and Jenna Ellis was prohibited from practicing law in Colorado for 3 years after she pleaded guilty in connection with Trump's efforts to subvert the election. So friends, in America, we are living in the days of the Trump-induced darkness. And given Donald Trump's near-daily lawlessness and unconstitutionality, as evidenced by court rulings, we are also living in the legal upside down. But, and you've heard me say this before, there are points of light out there. For example, 2 of Trump's former lawyers, Kenneth Chesebro and Jenna Ellis, pleaded guilty in Georgia State Court to crimes designed to steal the 2020 presidential election, and nothing can ever erase that because Trump can't pardon state criminal convictions. And other states have actually held these folk accountable. The state of Colorado suspended Jenna Ellis from the practice of law, and now the state of New York disbarred Kenneth Chesebro. And of course, both the state of New York and the District of Columbia, Washington, D.C., disbarred Donald Trump's other dirty former lawyer, Rudy Giuliani. So, yes, friends, accountability is often slow to come. You know, they say that sometimes justice seems to take forever, and then it comes all at once. And yes, it took 5 years for accountability to come for Kenneth Chesebro in the form of disbarment. But here's what I'll say, friends. You know, I know it's dark, and frankly, it's probably going to get darker before the rule of law comes back into the light. But I believe it's going to come back into the light. And I look forward to when similar accountability comes for folks like Pam Bondi, Todd Blanche, Emile Bove, for what they've done to support, to assist, to prop up, to aid and abet a lawless president. And friends, I believe accountability will come, because I don't think the rule of law should ever give up or ever give in. I don't think we should ever give up or ever give in. Because justice matters. Friends, as always, please stay safe. Please stay tuned. And I look forward to talking with you all again tomorrow.